The masculine has been vilified in modern day society and has been blamed to be toxic. Let's explore the masculine traits, not so much from a feminine perspective, but understanding who he is in his full, healthy masculine that is so important for women. The masculine we as women fear is the masculine that shows up in his shadow or wounded masculine. Let's understand the masculine and inspire him to be the best to us and himself as we create our second stage of life. Welcome to Her Second Stage, the podcast dedicated to inspiring successful women in the next stage of their lives. I'm Hilda Lunderstedt, and I'm excited to share the lessons I've learned as I transitioned into my second stage. Join me on this exciting journey of sisterhood and remembering who we are at our core. Remember, no matter where you've been, the best is yet to come. During the series of the feminine, we've spent a lot of time exploring the feminine, who she is. We looked at the divine feminine, we looked at the healed and unhealed feminine, and how to empower ourselves in our feminine archetypes. In the reality of masculine and feminine polarity, having a deep understanding of the masculine in relation to the external polarity will go a long way for us to create safety for us as women. To do so, we also have to understand the masculine archetypes. I'm only discussing the masculine archetypes in the concept of light and dark masculine, which is relatable to the light and dark feminine. And if you want to understand her, listen to my episode called Light and Dark Feminine. It is equally important to understand the light and dark feminine as it is to understand the light and dark masculine. It's because of society's vilification of the masculine and all the blame men are enduring for being toxic that I think that it is appropriate to have a discussion about what this is and what we need to explore around the masculine, but also know what it looks like when the masculine shows up in his healthy state as well as in his shadow. In my opinion, it's when the masculine shows up in their shadow that we as women experience and feel fear. We are scared and are very negative towards him. We experience him as a very unsafe and possibly even dangerous person. Because women have a very different relationship with fear, we need to know what signs to look out for to recognize if a man is in his light or dark masculine and if he's in his shadow or in his healthy masculine. It's also really important for us as women to recognize if we are coming from our healthy or shadow feminine. If we are in our wounded feminine, we will act very differently to the masculine than if we are from our healthy feminine. The healthy feminine inspires the healthy masculine. She leads him to his heart, and he will become her safe container and protector. So this episode, I want to dive into the light and dark masculine, who they are, their gifts, their powers, the archetypes that supports the light and dark masculine, the shadow sides of the wounded male, how to recognize these energies in life as you meet men, and how to create safety for your feminine when engaging in these energies. Understanding masculine energy, as it is with feminine energy, is more than just good or bad. And masculine energy is often oversimplified as either toxic or divine. The truth is, the overall archetype of the masculine is that there is both a light and dark masculine, each with their own healthy and unhealthy expressions. I want to use a fire, for example, which can really be relatable. The healthy light masculine can be compared to a controlled fire. This fire at its best, steady flame. It's protective, it provides warmth, comfort, and safety. It cooks your food and lights your home and helps you see clearly. It is consistent, dependable, and stable, allowing you to thrive. It's also focused, clear, purposeful, and disciplined in its mission. When a man embodies the healthy light masculine, he creates safety, trust, and stability around him. The shadow of the light masculine can be described as the fire that goes out of control, the fire that's become destructive, controlling, overbearing, rigid, and authoritarian. Too much discipline becomes dominance, aggressive, he lashes out, easily triggered, and anger-driven. Demands perfection, he's leading from exhaustion and resentment, and often has burnout. He becomes overprotective, which would lead to being smothering or restrictive, preventing others from freedom and growth. When the light masculine falls into shadow, it creates fear, stress, and a sense of oppression. The dark masculine as a fire is to be compared like a forest fire, clearing the way for old growth and making room for the new. It facilitates powerful transformation. Through being fearless, courageous, it faces the unknown, confidence in its power, and unafraid of his own depth. He boldly confronts the truth, embodies integrity, and protects boundaries fiercely. He's passionate and embodies deep, driven ambition, intensity, and authenticity. He inspires others just by his presence. When a man embodies the healthy dark masculine, he confidently navigates transformation, enables deep healing and growth and authenticity. But the shadow of the dark masculine is when the fire goes out of control and goes in total destruction mode. This is the pure, unchecked, and harmful fires. It uses power irresponsibly to harm, manipulate, or control. He lacks empathy. He becomes cold, manipulative, or exploitative. He's unpredictable with destructive behavior driven by unresolved anger and woundedness. He burns relationships, reputations, health, and opportunities. He sabotages himself and others. When the dark masculine becomes the shadow, it leaves destruction, pain, and suffering behind. Recognize these men in your life. Let's look at the masculine through the lens of the archetypes. The light masculine embodies the king energy, the wise leader. He's the sacred masculine that brings structure, direction, and safety. It's about his honor, integrity, and grounded leadership. He provides safety, wisdom, and stability. In the movies, think of Mufasa from The Lion King, who is strong, protective, but loving. The shadow of the king becomes the tyrant, the ruler who abuses power, like Scar in the same movie. Another archetype is the warrior archetype, who is the disciplined protector. He takes action and courage and honor. Think of Maximus and the gladiator, who fights for justice, but with honor. Shadow would be the destroyer, the fighting without purpose, just for power. The third archetype of the light masculine would be the mentor or sage, which is the wise guide. It teaches and empowers without controlling. An example would be Yoda from Star Wars, who guides without ego. In the shadow, the mentor or sage becomes the manipulator, uses wisdom to control others. The light masculine provides the feminine with safety and direction, strong protective presence, integrity with trustworthiness. How do you recognize him in real life? The man who makes you feel safe without controlling you. Someone who keeps his word and follows through. A partner or leader who supports you without needing to be above you. Can you feel that in your body? Can you recognize him in your life? The dark masculine archetype is one of raw primal power. It's not bad and shouldn't be judged, and definitely is not to be confused with the shadow or the wounded masculine. He is untamed, intense, and deeply magnetic. It's a force that fights injustice, breaking the rules, and takes bold action. When integrated, it's powerful, protective, and deeply seductive. The archetype of the dark masculine is the dark warrior, the fierce protector who fights for truth without seeking approval. For example, Batman, he operates in the shadows, but for justice. The shadow of the dark warrior would be the mercenary, someone who kills and destroys without a care in the world. The second archetype is the shadow king, or the rebel leader, who overthrows corrupt power but doesn't have to play by the rules. In his shadow, he becomes the anarchist who destroys without rebuilding. A third archetype of the dark masculine is the seductive rogue, deeply magnetic and a little feeling of danger. He's irresistibly charming but unpredictable. His shadow will be the predator who manipulates women for power. The dark masculine provides women with deep primal attraction, a sense of adventure and rebellion, and the power to break free from limitations. We recognize him in real life as a man who's deeply charismatic but with strong morals, someone who challenges you but never makes you feel unsafe, a presence that is electrifying yet protective. When out of balance, both energies can become destructive. Shadow of the light masculine becomes a tyrant who controls instead of protects, or becomes weak and afraid to take action. He can also become very rigid as a protector who lacks emotional depth. When the dark masculine shows up in his shadow, it could be very, very destructive. He could be abusive, wanting power without care. He becomes a cold-hearted seducer who takes without giving. He causes chaos and destroys everything. As you can now understand that the light and dark masculine are quite beautiful energies, but when they flip their polarity to the shadow, it's extremely destructive and unsafe for the feminine. Many women are currently experiencing the shadow masculine without even knowing it. How, you might ask, do I create safety for myself when dealing with the masculine energy and polarity? I want to tell you, trust your intuition. If something feels unsafe, listen to that intuition. It's when we ignore our intuitions that we often get into trouble. Observe his actions, not just his words. True masculine energy is consistent. Set boundaries. Healthy masculine respects them. Be clear in your feminine energy and be clear what you expect. The healthy masculine thrives when he knows what the feminine needs. We as women need to make sure that we heal our own wounds and our own shadow. Then we can honor ourselves fully, and we will not tolerate the masculine shadow, and we will inspire him to heal himself and to work on his own shadow aspects. We as the feminine need the protection and balancing of the healthy masculine, and if we see him, we should celebrate him, not vilify him for his need to treat women like she's precious. Simultaneously, we should not accept the behavior of men when we feel unsafe with them. The challenge is to understand if he is truly unsafe or if you have wounds that causes you to feel unsafe with men. As always, it starts with self-awareness and self-compassion. We as women need the masculine, but also the world at large needs the healthy light and dark masculine. The light provides safety and stability, while the dark provides passion and transformation. Start looking out for the evidence so you can recognize the external masculine-feminine polarity within yourself. Where do you observe the more grounded, structured light masculine and what he provides? Where do you observe or perhaps need the more sensual and powerful actions of the dark masculine energy? How can I look out for the shadow traits so we can create safety in our relationship with the masculine around us? When we understand the masculine in all its forms, we can appreciate him without fear, avoid the unhealthy masculine, and we can find safety without losing ourselves. Remember, we as women and the feminine have been wounded through our life and through our experiences, but so were men. And it's possible even worse for men who have been told to suck it up or cowboys don't cry. We expect men to just know everything and have all the answers, just like our fathers did. Men have to deal with no compassion, no support, or very little partnership throughout life. But this is where we can add a ton of value to his life through us showing up in our full feminine, giving him the support, love, and understanding that he needs. We don't need to judge the wounded men, the same as we don't judge our own wounded selves, but we need to protect ourselves and, if possible, guide them to wholeness and love. So now you have the perspective of the masculine in their archetypes, and you can recognize these men in their healthy as well as in their shadow or wounded sides. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with friends. Join our Second Stage private Facebook group where we will continue the conversations. Till next time.
Let it ride.